Hi. Imagine being able to make a diagnosis with a simple breath test, a diagnosis of a disease. Now imagine being able to make the diagnosis of gastrointestinal, liver, and metabolic diseases with a simple breath test at the doctor's office or at home. At Heteron, we are pioneering a decentralized approach to breath testing, and we're making diagnosis acceptable, accessible, and efficient for many millions and billions of people worldwide. The current diagnostics have failed to meet the need of these markets. There are many people that are suffering because of that. And the reason is because they're invasive. These are gastrointestinal procedures with biopsies, liver biopsies. They're expensive and time-consuming, multiple appointments to get one test done. They delay diagnosis and treatment. Sometimes that puts patients at risk and also overburdens the healthcare system with a high cost. We have a solution to this problem, and the solution is disease-specific breath diagnostics for self-testing that are affordable, they're accessible, they're designed so that they're accessed broadly, and they're efficient. They give the results, lab-grade results. The markets, as I mentioned, are immense. This is practically the entire gastroenterology field in liver disease. We start with celiac disease, irritable bowel syndrome, inflammatory bowel disease. You get the gist. Metabolic, liver disease, billions of people suffering from liver disease due to obesity and increasing. A carcinogenic bacterium which resides in the digestive tract of about 4.5 billion people worldwide. Other infections, colorectal cancer, and we're tapping the wearables market just to complete the process. It is projected that by 2030, the breath testing market will reach about 12 billion. And we have assessed that our own products in the US have a total addressable market of about 32 billion. Based on assumptions that you see on the left, we are projecting that the company can reach a $1 billion per year net income. Our business model is very simple. Decentralized breath testing, take it out of the lab and put it in the hands of the people who need it most, by making simple, user-friendly devices for self-testing to be sold over the counter and at the point of care. And we've had very interesting and encouraging communication with CVS Health, and the FDA has given us the nod to go ahead to file 510Ks and 1 de novo submission. Our technology is disruptive. We're aiming to replace equipment that have been used for gold standard breath testing for decades. And with a $200 device, we can do what the other equipment do better, more accurately, and faster. We have interfaced medicine, engineering, chemistry, and AI recently to come up with our standalone, handheld, autonomous devices that will examine the breath and give the result on the screen. That are low cost, that are scalable, and reimbursable. Most of our tests already have a CPT code. We have a 9-product pipeline. These are disease-specific, therefore 1 disease, 1 product, with the exception of 1, the number 6 device, which is a master device. 6 are in clinical stage, and 3 out of those are the first to go through FDA approval. We're in the wearable space strategically, but not for GI purposes at first. We're going to use the wearables for athletic purpose. We're still detecting 1 particular marker, and along with data that we're going to collect, with the use of AI, we will develop personalized models of athletic performance and predictive athletic performance. We had 3 pilot clinical studies for the 3 devices that are going to be the first out of the gate through FDA approval. And we have had excellent results, 100% specificity and sensitivity. And when we went toe-to-toe with the gold standard, we had 100% correlation. And now I would like to give you 3 examples as to how our devices help the patients, the doctors, and lower the healthcare cost. One is our device for celiac disease. We have developed a breath biomarker specific for this disease, and our device is both a diagnostic and a companion diagnostic. Now, the disease is a chronic disease. There's no treatment for it. The patient needs to consider 3 things and monitor for 3 things. 1, to stay vigilantly on strict gluten-free diet for life. The second is to make sure the disease is in remission, and the third, that the intestine is healing. To do this right now, they go periodically through upper GI endoscopies with biopsies. There's a blood test, but with low sensitivity and specificity. With our device, they can have it with them throughout their life. I expect to have 1 per year. And they can use it throughout the year as many times as they want. And with a $200 device, they can replace all the invasive procedures and make sure that their disease is in remission and the intestine is healed, because the biomarker correlates exactly with disease activity. The second is a device, again, about $150 to $200, that makes the diagnosis. This is a lab grade. This is a diagnosis upon which the physician can prescribe antibiotics for the bacterium that affects a humongous number of people. It's a real number. It has been assessed repeatedly that that's the number. Now, on the right, you see the simple handheld device that a person can breathe in and get the result, replacing all the other invasive procedures, plus the current breath test, which has failed this market completely. And the third example is our master device. This is basically a GI lab. It performs all the breath tests that a gastroenterologist prescribes. And it does it with a capital expense of about $3,500 to $4,000. This is the only point of care device we have. This is not going to be for self-testing, obviously. Now, 50 million people in this country live in counties that do not have a gastroenterologist. And about 20 to 25 million live in counties where a gastroenterologist is about 25 miles or longer from where they live. A general practitioner, a family doctor, or a PA, or even an emergency room can use the device to test for a diagnosis of gastrointestinal liver metabolic diseases. And the expense, you can tell, is so much less than the least expensive of all these other devices that are about $14,000. We expect to have our 6 clinical stage devices FDA approved by 2027. We're in communication with the FDA about this. We have the intellectual property portfolio to support our, protect our rights worldwide. We are highly competitive. Heteron, as you can see, the right top corner, I believe is the leader of the pack in what we do. I am the founder and CEO, and I manage the company. We have an advisory board. We're doctors, chemists, engineers, and other scientists, and we have consultants to help us take the case forward, the project forward. We're asking for $9 million in Series A to take the 3 through FDA approval, launch 1,000 of each, invest in marketing and scale up manufacturing, and develop the first breathalyzer wearable. Thank you.